If you ask for help for something you can do, most guys will, he's thinking, why are you asking me? You could do that. That's his reaction. He doesn't know there's a big payoff for doing little things. If you said, look, I'm having an emergency, I need to be taken to the hospital, boom, he's right there. Because it's a big problem. He's motivated to solve big problems. He doesn't know until he experiences it that doing little things for women really makes him happy. So I'm so happily married now because I learned all these skills in the past. I didn't have to, take years to learn all this stuff. And Bonnie taught me this through our experience together. But, my partner will say to me, oh, would you find my phone? Immediately I'll run and do it because I know that's as much as a romantic evening. Jump right away and go and do that. And she feels like she can ask me anything. She says, would you make me a cup of tea? Always, sure, happy to make you a cup of tea. Now, in my mind, if I didn't understand women, I'd be thinking, well, she can make her own cup of tea. Why should I get her a cup of tea? So why can't she do it? So, and this is the man you're going to meet, okay? He hasn't been educated that little things make a difference. So how do you motivate him? You let him know. Was you're dating him for a while, you say, I just want you to know when you did that, made me feel so good. I really liked it when you opened the door. And even though I could pay for the meal, when you pay for the meal, I don't know, I feel so soft inside. I feel like I can open my heart to you. You tell him these things. And
I think you're making a really, really good point here. I just wanted to add just one little thing to give a tangible example. Like one of the things I've asked my clients to do who have been operating more in the masculine energy and are not used to having help available to them or not used to asking men for help is to just ask for his opinion or advice on something. Or like you stand up in the restaurant, maybe it's winter time or you have a little jacket or coat, you just hand it to him and say, would you be so sweet to help me on with this? And the men will do it. Yes. I've never had any woman tell me a man said no. And then she says, oh, thank you. That's so nice. Just little teeny things can be an opening for this.
You see, it's not logical to him, but your hormonal reaction tells him he did a good job. It's biological. Oh, I kind of like that. And what keeps women, another thing that keeps women from, some women just don't know that a man's greatest joy is making you happy doing something for you. Okay. He just doesn't know that doing little things will do that. So he's not going to do those things unless you ask him to do it. So one of the things you just added was wonderful, which is well, what do you think about this? Occasionally say something. What do you think about this? That's so helpful. Oh my gosh, I would never thought of that. Boom. He just bonded with you a little bit more. My wife says, will you unzip me? She can do it by herself. She can do it. But she says, would you unzip me? And I'm zipping it down. I go, and I can feel her going, oh, I didn't have to do that myself. He's there for me. It's a feeling of somebody is responding to your request. That's so, so important. And women don't know that you train a man by asking him to do things for you and then having a nice response. It's not like you go, oh my God, you just put that cape on me. No, it's just like, feels so good. That's nice. Thank you. Then he experiences that. And then you can also sometimes educate him and go, the little things you did the other day, it just touched me so much. I so much enjoyed that you did this. Enough. Don't educate him too much because he can sort of smell like you're trying to be his teacher. You don't want you to be his teacher, but he also, my wife taught me so much without having to be my teacher, just her experience. So this is how any negative message you give to a man is going to push him down and lose interest in you. You always want positive messages, but the most positive message is, and I hear some women go, well, I want to tell him if I didn't like that restaurant, I should tell him I don't like that restaurant. Okay. No, you don't. If you want romance in your life, you want a man to be interested in you, you find something nice about the restaurant and you say, I did really enjoy that, whatever it was. And you don't have to say all the things you don't like on a romantic date. Now, there's another situation where you're not in the romance of the relationship and you kind of go, I'm kind of tired of that restaurant. No details. I like this restaurant, and let him know. Here's a subtlety. Never say to a man, if possible, these are not hard, fast rules. This is what I want you to do. Then he feels like he's not offering that from himself. Okay. Even though if he says yes, that's good. But women ultimately don't want to feel like they're guiding and directing a man all the time. And so
right.
and he doesn't want to feel that way. So there's a workaround. The workaround, and I'm going to use the example you gave at the beginning of our interview. And that was, he says, maybe we'll get together on Friday.
Yeah, but then he doesn't follow up or anything, set a time or a place.
So here's what you do as a woman. He said that. You could say it then, or you could ponder it and then send a text and says, here's 3 things I'd like to do on Friday. That's it. Here's 3. Take your pick. In this case, he already said, maybe we'll get together on Friday. And that's one situation. And then he doesn't follow through. Then next time in the future, what you know to do is when a man says maybe, and maybe is never a follow through, but a short text, here's 3 things I'd love to do on Friday. Boom. Give him a picture in his mind of what I could do. Let it settle in. These things have to settle in. And then by sleeping, there's a part of the brain, the interior reticulate, I now forget the name of reticular activating system, is that you just give the thought and he sleeps on it and then it becomes his own thought. Now, I tell you, one of the biggest complaints women have in the business world and even in relationships is they often will say something to a guy and then later on, he'll say that same thing and take credit for it like it's his idea. And women are like, I say these things and then suddenly he thinks he owns it, because it goes in, his brain thinks about it and it comes out as his own idea. He doesn't realize he just took the idea from you, which is why women feel so unappreciated in the workplace. But men sort of have to take it inside and maybe they piss on it with one little addition or something and now it's his. So, but the same thing can happen in the dating situation. And I know this sounds really bold and that's why you put it in a text, because maybe he never met a woman who just said, here's 3 things I'd love to do on Friday. And just leave it like that. And then, because he did mention, in that case, if he doesn't mention, and, you have to have there's so many different scenarios that can come up, but that's one where in the relationship, if you've been dating for a while, then you always let him know, here's 3 things next weekend I'd like to do. Or you pick. And it's only what you'd like to do. It's never what he'd like to do. It's his bonding with you to do something for you. And if he says, oh, but I'd rather go here and here and here, I said, well, tell me why. And then you can, well, that makes sense. That's a good idea. But for a romantic evening, this is what I would like. Just say it. For a romantic evening, this is what I could like. Doesn't mean you won't do that thing with him, but you made it clear in a subtle way. For a romantic evening, this is what I would like. And this is what I would like to do. But we can do that this time. But be careful not to always default to what he'd like to do. And there's nothing wrong with the man. You could say, oh, you're so selfish. After a year of being married to me, Bonnie said, we always do what you want to do. And I went, no, we don't. We always like doing things together. She says, I give you little hints about what I would like. And then you say what you'd like. And I feel like, okay, we'll do what you want. But then next time you'll do what I want. See, that's a very Venus thinking, reciprocity. I'll do for you, then you'll do for me. So no, it doesn't work that way with a man. Because in my mind, she wants to go to the symphony. I want to go watch a movie. If she says, okay, we'll go watch a movie, in my mind, I'm thinking, she's thinking that's the better choice. So we're always doing what we decide to do. Don't let him do that, because if he's only doing what he wants to do, he's not bonding with you. He's not feeling I provided this thing and you're getting actually what you want. As opposed to you're getting a compromise of what you want when you go do what he wants to do. Nothing wrong with doing what he wants to do. Occasionally, it should be way more on your side. Same thing. It's okay for him to talk a little about his life and what he feels and what he thinks. Only a little bit. Don't be that interested in what he has to say. Shift gears to what you have to say and always give the message that you're never judging as pushing down his point of view.